Episode 1 of Blue Lock dropped this last Saturday, and some are considering it to be the next best sports anime. We've been overdue for another banger sports anime. We've been waiting. It's been Haiku, Kirk on a Basket, then we had the immediate fall off. But not anymore. Now we have Blue Lock. My name's James Graham. I have Andrew Nimsgren with me, and we're going to be breaking down the first episode of Blue Lock, the new hit soccer anime to hit Crunchyroll. How you doing today, buddy?
Hell yeah, I am excited. I am doing great. I've been waiting for this for so long. I think really IQ was one of the first major anime that I got into. I obviously went down the rabbit hole after that, Hero no Sora. I've given every sports anime out there a shot, and there's not been any that have been hyped up and had as really as good of a first episode as Blue Lock in a very long time. So I'm excited for it. I know nothing of what's going on. This is my first experience with it. I think you've read most of the manga, but for me, I'm going in blind, no idea what's going on, and I cannot wait.
That's the best way to do it, man. Yeah. So, just for a bit of context, I'm currently up in the manga. Andrew is just joining us with the anime. He's going in blind, has no idea what's going to happen. So we have the person who has an experience with the series, and then the complete rookie, I guess. We'll keep it with sports terms.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, with the first episode, we'll get right into the recap. Our first episode kicks off with Yuichi Asagi making a beeline down center field, contemplating whether or not to go for the goal himself or pass it to his teammate to try and take the goal himself. Yuichi doesn't do it, gives it to his teammate. They lose. They lose regional finals, and we get a nice shot of Yuichi not stoic, stone faced, while the rest of his team is crying around him. We don't see Yuichi expressing emotion later until he's by himself on his bike, bawling his eyes out, pissed that they lost. Then we turn to Yuichi's family home, seeing that he's got an acceptance to a special sports program. We don't really get that much insight from the letter. He's gathered by himself, the rival player he was against, named Kira, and what looks like 300 other players gathered in one room in front of a center stage. On that stage, we get this weird, gangly looking dude named Ego who presents to all these players why Japan sucks at soccer. It's a really weird take. He basically shits on all of them, tells them that, the best players in the world are entirely selfish. They're egotistical. They have massive egos. And then he pitches to them, you ditch your teams, you come play for Blue Lock, and you become the best player in the world. You take Japan to the World Cup. Everyone is skeptical, including Kira, Usagi's rival, but something clicks with Usagi, and he loves this. He doesn't know why, but he loves this, and he makes a beeline for the door to basically signal, "Hey, I want to do this." Moved by Usagi, everybody else is just like, "Okay, sick," and they also make a beeline for it. Turns into a crowd. I don't even think anybody hangs around. I think they all agree
No, it
for it.
looks like they all go.
They all go, exactly, right? We then go to see a massive facility that is shaped kind of like a Pentagon, but this is where it takes place. It looks like it's in rural Japan, um, and basically it is this massive soccer facility. Asagi's there. He's in his looks like a blue leotard. I want like it
Yeah.
is a it's a skill like it's yeah it's all spandex, but he's greeted by a bunch of other players in this one big open room. Um, and like we get back with Ego on their screen telling them we're gonna play a game of tag, and the last person it gets kicked out of Blue Lock just like that. You just got there, and now you're out. It becomes this crazy ass game of tag with Isagi battling with not only himself, Kira, and a few other players. They're mildly introduced. We have Bakira and Garamu. Help me with that pronunciation.
Garimu, I don't know. Yeah.
Garimu, yeah. So and it goes from avoiding the ball to basically wrestling control to prove that they're the one who can take somebody else out. And it ends our episode with Yuichi's eyes like just like burning purple, and boot fucking Kira in the face with the ball, signaling he is the last one out. And that's kind of where we end our episode. Andrew, how did it hook you in, dude? What did you think?
I think the first 18 minutes was great, but still didn't seem anything extraordinary. But then the second where the game went away from trying to not be the one hit to hitting the strongest person is kind of where it clicked, especially seeing Asagi's eyes, seeing the mindset. We'd seen it once or twice kind of early in the episode of kind of an inkling of it, but that clearly being a major change. It's like, no, this is going to be good. this is going to be something different. And even overall, I just love the concept. I think the World Cup rather than nationals just feels bigger, more extreme. Like in the US, at least, we don't have anything compared to nationals. So
No.
everyone always fighting to be nationals, to be the best of kind of all that is great. But like, nope, this is a whole different level. You're going to be going for U20 World Cup, all that kind of stuff. So I love the bigger stakes. I love the unique approach, and the animation is incredible. So I mean, I don't think I really have too much to complain about from an episode one. Um, it's just kind of keeping that same energy and like getting away, seeing if they make it through the shock value of Saki kind of breaking almost at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and I think that's the big hook, right? Seeing this not timid player, but one who seems like he has that potential to be this like to unlock that potential. Sorry, and then kind of getting just enough at the very end of the episode to be like, holy shit, this guy has something. It's mentioned throughout the episode how he has like half decent soccer IQ as well, and that is a big thing they play out at the end of the episode too. Is that he knows where to be, and we can only hope that that's kind of how they carry this season on, that this is like a big thing they focus on.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
they're going to be able to do really well with characters too. So we know they're at most about 300 characters plus support staff and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But with there being so many and how they're doing it, we'll be able to play in every single sport and anime trope you could ever want. We already saw the sleepy guy. We already saw the big burly kind of straight edge guy. We saw the monk. We saw the timid main character, a lot like Kurono Basket. Like we're able to see every single archetype. So everyone's going to have a character they can relate to, be sad when they leave, hate, no matter what, having 300 potential characters out there and being able to use every single sports trope makes it so easy to not have to work too hard on characters while them still making sense in the scenario.
and that's just it. And I just want to be a little meta highbrow really quick, where you see so many characters with different colored hair in one room. You know that most, if not all of them, are going to get screen time, which is always that's what you want, right? You see Asagi and who he gets into his room with, and you're like, all right, every one of these guys is going to have a personality, which
And
is
that's just
which is
one room. I
that's
mean,
one
that's
room.
just you're assuming maybe one, two people make it out of here. Like that's just me kind of guessing. And then they
Yeah.
go into another room where just the peak two characters from that room are going to kind of move on and stuff kind of like that. So I think it's really interesting that way. And for me, it's how are the challenges going to always be entertaining for someone that hasn't might not love soccer. Like for me, I played
Mm.
soccer a lot growing up, but like will the animation make up for me not caring as much about soccer as I do about volleyball or basketball or something kind of like that? That is my one concern. But I've heard a lot of people love this manga, so I'm sure they find a way around it. But that is my one concern of like, I don't care about soccer, but this did a great job of making me care so far.
That's just it, and that's always I think that's always a big hurdle for any sports anime is how do you get somebody to care about the specifics and the specifics of the sport and all the really nice like finite stuff that you really only see with that high level play, right? How do you translate that into especially into animation, right? I think the animation budget might be I think we're okay with that, but it
Yeah,
again it is that translation from technique to screen, right? So that's
yeah.
what we really want to hope for.
Yeah, and just kind of I know we're kind of getting kind of towards the end of some of our initial thoughts, but I think for me, I'm incredibly hyped. I'm definitely planning on giving this whole season a watch. Just another kind of one thing I worry about here, as much as I love the first episode, is I love my slice of life episodes. I don't know if you get that inside a facility like this too. So that might be a personal preference. Like IQ, you have those episodes of where there's a little bit of love interest and stuff kind of like that. While they can still find ways to kind of work that into. Again, my concern is it all going to be soccer every single episode the entire time? And if you don't click with the complete competitive edge, is it going to kind of get a little numbing after so long just seeing someone go home every week, kind of like a reality TV show like Survivor? Or are they going
Yeah.
to find ways to kind of do it out? So, I mean, this is a 10 out of 10 first episode. There's not many first episodes that make me say, holy shit, like when Kira got kicked in the face. So for me,
Yeah.
it's definitely deserved to go on, but I see issues with my personal preference of where it is. But if they did this episode every single week, the next 25 episodes, it'll be one of my best favorite anime of the year.
That's just it, dude. Like it is that finite balance between constant action and do we get a beach episode, right? Like
Yeah.
every anime needs a beach episode. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they do that, or is it going to be nonstop the entire way through? So that being said, though, nice little tidbit that as a manga reader that can I really appreciate. Most of this episode is panel for panel. It is
Okay,
that close.
nice.
Yeah, like, yeah, myself and my girlfriend were literally sitting here like at the like had the manga open, like looking through it, and it's phenomenal. So that being said, though, we are off to a great start for Blue Lock episode 1. We are more than pumped to see episode 2 and see what it really holds. That being said, though, Andrew, you got any closing thoughts?
Well, I think I want to do kind of a fun little segment that we talked about a little bit and kind of fleshed out a little bit, but I would love to do some kind of ranking. So obviously a big thing in the show is a ranking system. We see that Isagi is actually number 299. We meet the number 300 character here. So for you and me, James, this is a challenge that I want to kind of propose, and even people kind of in the comments too, you can do this as well. Each week, I want to say someone that went up in their ranking and went down their ranking outside of what actually happened in the show. Obviously,
Yeah.
rankings are going to change the show, but someone that we believe went up in our minds or someone that went down in our minds. So with that being in mind, do you have a
Okay.
character that you think won and kind of lost this episode?
I think Bakura definitely went up. Bakura's like his stock went up. Sagi's stock went up, of course, right? Like I mean, especially because he's not just like the it seems to be the protagonist, but you do have that boot fuck at the end, and you're like, all right, this guy's crazy. Um, don't really have anybody going down episode 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everybody's great. How about you?
I mean, I think the obvious down would be Kira, but he's knocked out. So my next best is actually going to be Gurimu, number
Oh,
300. He's already at the bottom, so theoretically he can't go down. But it looks like he got injured, and now I think a couple people are not going to be a big fan of him. At least the one big burly dude kind of wanted everyone to play straight, and now he knows a couple that don't. So I think that's going down. And I'm just going to give Asagi. I'm a big main character guy. He's obviously going up. I mean, it's
there it
clicking
is.
with him. He's going from the timid kid that I think he has a chance of winning it all. Obviously, the main character should, but I love seeing that energy. And from episode 1, they're giving it to him.
Perfect. There we go. So yeah, we'll keep a nice little track of this of who's gone up the most, who's gone down the most, all that good stuff. But yeah, no, I think that kind of wraps us up for episode 1. That being said, though, my name is James. This is Andrew. You can find all the stuff that we do on YouTube/Class 1A. We don't only do Blue Lock, but we all like our big thing is My Hero Academia. We also do Demon Slayer as well, and we're gonna be branching out as is this episode here. So thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a good one.